guys? John here. Titan Talk Tuesday officially in effect. Very excited by Titan Talk Tuesday today. We've got some awesome things coming up for you guys. I'm waiting for everybody to come on. What's up, Mark? DC Baker, Jim Rat, what's going on, guys? So we have some awesome things coming, guys. Some really cool events. I hope everybody's excited about tomorrow. It's going to be awesome for tomorrow. Titan Black Wednesday will be in official effect for tomorrow, so it's going to be really cool. How you doing, Jim Rat? Doing good, man. Mark, my man. So, let's get Titan Talk started off right, like I always do. Let's talk about some of the events we got coming up. We'll be at Water at Godfrey Hotel again this Sunday. It should be a beautiful Sunday, so come out poolside, enjoy some of the Titans, enjoy some of the Titanettes, have a good conversation, enjoy the beautiful weather, and say hi to me or Charisse possibly. What else do we got coming on? So, the big event is for tomorrow. Titan Black Wednesday is a huge event here at Titan Medical Center. We did our first annual one last year, and what we do is we go live at 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and 6 p.m. So, we're going to go live. The first page on the Instagram right now and the Facebook has all of the details of what you need to do to be qualified to win free blood tests, free apparel, discounts on all the therapies. If you're a patient, old or new, you're going to benefit. If you have to get blood, you're an old patient, or you're a new patient, you want to get blood, you're going to benefit. If you like some of the Titan gear that we have, you're going to benefit. If you want to see some of the behind-the-scenes things that we got going on here at Titan Medical Center, definitely tune in. What I want you guys to do is, if you're on Instagram, that's you guys, I need you guys to go to that post of the Titan Medical Center giveaway. And I need you to tag 3 friends, at 1, at 2, and at 3, people that would benefit from our therapies. If you're on Facebook, please go to the Titan Medical Center page and share the post for the Titan Medical Center Black Wednesday giveaway. Add your name, add your number, and please share it and like the pages. That's how you guys will get entered in to win these blood tests. Also, we're going to do some great giveaways online. I'm going to make sure that we just keep it real awesome, guys. I mean, that's what Titan's all about, right? We're going to do awesome things. I want to make sure we're going to throw some cool surprises at you guys, give away a lot of cool stuff before Thanksgiving and Black Friday. You guys are going to benefit and get all of our discounts. So, tomorrow, Black Wednesday, I hope you guys are in tune, and I will see you guys there, and all the staff will. We're really excited about it, so stay tuned. All right, free blood test. Who doesn't like free blood tests, guys? Males, females, we're going to give them away. Next, so let's talk about some of the things in blood tests. Now, I want to hit on some of these subjects about HRT maintenance. What I'm going to do is, too, as well, is I'm going to hit on some of these things today, but I'm going to circle back in about 2 weeks, and I'm going to have a medical provider come on here, okay, a doctor come on here, and actually go through a real blood test of what we test here at Titan Medical Center. So you're going to get to see all the tests. He's going to get to scroll through there, and he's going to explain to you what's on the blood test, what these tests mean, and how they will affect you, okay? Because you guys should know this. This is information that you should know. It's your health history and your health record. So, let me give you an example of what I came across today. I'm signing up for life insurance, right? Because I know I'm probably not going to live forever. You know, I've got Titan Medical Center, and they do call me the Ponce de Leon of Florida, right? Because I'm trying to find the anti-aging. I'm trying to find the fountain of youth for all you guys, including myself. But if I can't, I know, listen, I'm mortal. Mortality is there. I'm going to die. So I need to get some life insurance. So at that point, I've got the life insurance guy comes in. He says, all right, sign all these papers. He also tells me, John, we're going to run a blood test on you, and we're going to do some urine on you too as well, the examiner and all that, just to make sure you're healthy and everything. I said, okay, cool. What blood test are you going to test on me? And of course, this is just the insurance guy. And his response was, we're going to do a full panel. I said, listen, I understand that you say it to some people, and they're like, oh, they get in their mind of what you should be running on them, I guess. But to me, when you say a full panel, that can mean a lot of different things. And different doctors, their full panel is a lot different than maybe Dr. A or Dr. B's is going to be. So at that point, you really want to know what those panels are and what those panels are going to tell you about your health. So we're going to break it down there with the doctor, and he's going to go over these things. But my main thing is today is because I've been seeing a lot of these blood tests coming back through these doctors and through the clinic, and I've actually had some people email me over some of their blood results, and I'm not a doctor, and I don't recommend for them to do anything at that. But what I do is I look at them, and I get the information. I'm like, wow. I'm like, what's going on? So the big thing I want to hit on, especially if you're on HRT, hormone replacement therapy, or you're on testosterone replacement therapy, or you're possibly doing your own thing, right? So when you look at a CBC, which is a complete blood cell count, right? We're going to look at three main things: hemoglobin, hematocrit, and red blood cell counts. These three things you should look at. They are very important, especially if you're on these things, as far as androgens and your blood cell count is getting high, as far as red blood cell count, hemoglobin, and hematocrit are getting high. What's happening to your blood when these things get high, all right? So the more blood cells you got, red blood cells, more hemoglobin, hematocrit, what happens is when those get high, your blood starts getting thick and sludge-like, and it can get so thick that it can cause DVTs, strokes, blood clots, and a number of different health issues, okay? When these things go higher, you have a higher chance of something happening to you. So you want to make sure that you're monitoring these levels. If you have high RBC, red blood cell count, hemoglobin, and hematocrit levels, what should you do? All right, so there's two different ways, I guess, I would look at it. One is, if I was getting prescribed androgens or testosterone, nandrolone, anything that could raise these levels, what I would do is, obviously, I would have my primary care, or whoever is taking care of you and monitoring me, do blood on you and tell him what is going on. If you get these blood levels back and he's not willing to do anything for you, or if you're doing your own thing, what should you do? The biggest thing to do is to do a blood dump. That means go down to your Red Cross, say you're having a great day, you want to be generous and give some blood. You can usually give blood. It's usually 500 mLs. That's usually what a blood dump or donation usually consists of. It could be different, but usually that's what it is, especially a therapeutic blood dump. So if you go to a Red Cross and these levels are very, very high, what happens is they prick your finger and they get your iron count, they see how high these levels are, and if these levels are too high, they will not let you donate. They will tell you to leave at that point. Now, you still have the problem of the RBC being high, hemoglobin being high, hematocrit being high, okay? You have to get that plasma out of the body. You can't just thin the blood. You have to get the plasma out, and that's how it will start going down. That's why a donation or a therapeutic blood dump can help big time, okay? And if your blood is too thick and sludge-like, not only could you have those health problems that we talked about, the stroke, DVT, blood clots, but it can make you feel lethargic, okay? You can get headaches. These things are symptoms. These are warning signs. These are things that you should be paying attention to and not just brush off. So at that point, really look for these things. Get CBCs done. Make sure you are checking your blood cell count, hemoglobin, and hematocrit. Whether you're getting prescribed androgens or you're doing something on your own, it's definitely in your best interest to monitor and make sure everything is running right. So that was the big one on that, all right? The next thing I want to talk about, and I see a lot of people come back with those things high, and that's the first thing they need to do is they need to get those levels down. The next thing, we're going to talk about a CMP. CMP is a comprehensive metabolic panel, and we do a CMP 14. And what that means is CMP 14 is a comprehensive metabolic panel with 14 tests in that one test per se, okay? So what that's going to cover is like electrolytes, liver, kidneys. Those are the big functions in there that you're really going to want to pay attention to. Now, with these things, you're going to pay attention to your liver functions, and that is under ALT and AST, right? And these things are basically your liver enzymes, and those are going to tell you if your liver is breaking down, if it's having problems. If these levels are getting too high, you're going to have issues. Your liver is filtering everything through your body. If you're taking oral supplementation, it's filtering through your body. So at that point, it's filtering through the liver. It has to filter through there. If those if those enzymes get too high, you can get jaundice, you can turn yellow, you can have permanent liver damage. Alcohol can resort to some of these things. Acetaminophen can raise these things. Fatty livers, because of diets, can set these things up high. So there's different reasons. So really be truthful with your provider. And if your provider judges you for some reason, then come to Titan Medical or come to somebody that doesn't judge you. They can't condone some of the things you're doing, but they shouldn't judge you, and they should want to help you, because that's what the Hippocratic Oath is all about. It's about helping the patient and doing the right thing for the patient, okay? Not what their judgment is about you and what they think about what you're taking, or so on and so on. Which leads me to my next thing. It's a question I get all the time. I get a lot of questions about why don't regular doctors like to treat bodybuilders, okay? Now, it's a pretty decent question. It's a question that gets asked a lot. And I know why it gets asked, so I'm going to answer it. I mean, I talked to my physicians about it too, because they were primary cares at one time. They've been through the ropes and they understand some of these things. So the big thing for them is that doctors or medical providers, they don't want to treat somebody that is possibly on something else that may be hurting them or may affect the medications or the plan that they put them on. So if a provider puts you on some medication per se, and you're doing these other things on the side, and let's say something happens with the kidney or liver or some other damage to the body, then it's possible that you can put the blame on the medications or the treatments that the doctor has put forth for you. So you are a liability in their eyes in a lot of different ways. So at that point, they're like, should I take on this liability or should I not take on this liability? The next thing is you're diving them into questions or situations that these medical doctors have never been in. Think about it. Most of these medical doctors or general practitioners deal with families, everyday people, children, and a lot of different regular scenarios and situations. They're not in there to talk to you, and they have limited time when they are talking to you. They're in there 5 or 10 minutes at most, and most of you guys have went through this. But they're not there to talk to you about underground supplements per se, right? Not underground regimens, trembolone, this, that, whatever. I mean, it's crazy what some of these people are putting to these doctors or talking to these doctors about. Guys, doctors are keeping records on you. They're keeping notes about what you're talking to them about. Okay? I don't care if you think they're the coolest doctor in the world or not. They're covering their butt. They're CYAing. And if you tell me this information, they're going to put it in their notes. That way, if anything comes back, it's not going to bite them in the butt. They're going to have documentation. They're going to at least have it on file about you. So I would be careful about some of the things that you guys are telling some doctors, especially if you're using insurance. Okay, that puts you in a whole different category. That puts a doctor's treatment and standard of care in a whole different category. So make sure that you're going to somebody that can help you out with what you're trying to do, that will not judge you, right? But they can't condone. Medical providers can't condone, because that they're not here to get you jacked up. They're not here to get you big. They're here for your health, to get you optimal levels. That's what my doctors are here for. Other general practitioners, they want to fix what's broke. So if it's broke, they want to fix it. They don't want to talk about anything else. If you go into, this was a funny one. A patient called me today, said, listen, John, I want to go on a weight loss program real bad. What up, Eric? How you doing? Macaulay? So at that point, what happened was he wanted to go in for weight loss. The insurance wouldn't cover it. Doctor told him, this is what the doctor told him. The doctor said, it can't be your hormones. The guy's 45 years old, right? So why can't it be his hormones? But he says it can't be your hormones. What you should work on is your diet and your exercising. Now, I agree with that 110%. Diet and exercise are totally two big keys and priorities to what we do and what anybody should do when they're trying to get healthier, or they're trying to look aesthetically better, or they're just trying to be in better shape, right? So at that point, those are two main things. But it's a fact. You can work out the hardest you want. You can have the best nutrition. If your hormones are off, you're not going to get the results of what you're looking for, or you're going to get very, very mediocre results. And you might hit a plateau, which is going to demotivate you in some ways. And you're just like, never mind. I'll just come back to it. And then January 1st rolls around, which is coming around for all you guys with those New Year's resolutions. right? And then they start getting back on the horse and they start getting into it a little bit, and then they get demotivated because they're not seeing the results they want, right? Or they're not getting the results fast enough as they want. Now, guys, for that, always set a goal and make your goal realistic. Whatever it is. Whatever it is. I want to get this job. I want to be better on my page. I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to gain 10 pounds of muscle. Put yourself in realistic scenarios, realistic goals, and try to achieve those goals. Don't stop, don't quit, and always progress. And whatever you're doing in life, progression is key, and that's in anything you do, right? Always move forward. I don't care if it's an inch or a mile, at least you're moving forward in one direction. Now, don't always move the inch. Try to move the most amount you can in that, in that time. So that's huge, guys. So really, really look into that, and don't jump down the back of a doctor that does not know your questions about Anavar or Trenbolone or anything like that. They weren't taught about those drugs. Those drugs were made and specifically made for certain patients that needed it. Oxandrolone is one of them. Oxandrolone, Anavar, Oxandrolone. That's what it is, Oxandrolone. All right, so Anavar is the commercial name for the medication. Oxandrolone is what the drug is. So Oxandrolone was made and it's FDA approved, right, for muscle wasting. It was also approved for like burn victims. Actually, and the reason was burn victims would lay in bed, healing process would slow down, atrophy of the muscle would happen, and at that point, that's what it's FDA approved for. So for healing, it's approved for burn victims. I know a lot of places that are doing for weight loss and stuff like that. It can help in other scenarios. It just depends on what the documentation is and if that provider is willing to do it. So those are the ones. The other one is it was why do they not want to treat bodybuilders? And the other question was why do they possibly judge them? So I told you guys why they don't really want to treat bodybuilders or aspiring bodybuilders. The next thing is why is the judgment there? The judgment's there for a couple different reasons. And the reason is because those doctors, they might not know enough about it and they don't want to dive into it, right? The other one is that they're an old school doctor or they've been around the block for so long. They have their opinions on testosterone and how it can affect the body negatively, supposedly, or all that good stuff. What up, Craig? Sorry, guys, I'm gonna get some shouts. What up, Marlene? Brian, Rodney, Chrissy? Thanks, man. I appreciate it. You looking good as always, too. Thank you, guys. My man Ari's definitely hooking it up. I'm loving this. Now I can see your comments on Facebook, guys. So please comment, questions. I'll definitely answer them. I'm loving this. Chrissy, what's up? So at that point, that's kind of why they're going to judge you because they have their opinions on it. They stereotype. If they see you and you're veiny and you're big, you might not even be on something, and they might think that you are. So at that point, that's kind of what it is. The younger doctors are usually more open-minded. They're more looking for those cutting-edge therapies. Old doctors are like old dogs. I mean, to me, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, and don't try. And some of them will learn. So I'm not saying that's all doctors, because some doctors are very knowledgeable. They're continuing their education every year, and they want to know about these therapies, no matter what their age is. Because some of them are getting to the age where they need testosterone replacement therapy, and they're starting to realize that, and they're starting to learn for themselves all the benefits for it. And that's really good. I appreciate that. A lot of people say, there's a lot of people getting into the business that you do and the medical treatments and stuff like that. Yes, there is. It's because so many people are deficient out there on the lower end. I mean, literally, guys, 8 out of 10 people come back deficient or low for testosterone, males and females. This could be total or free testosterone. And total is what you have in your total of your body, your reservoir, right? And free is what you're utilizing and using. And if your total is really good, per se, but your free is low and it's deficient, your body's not utilizing what it has. And you're having the symptoms of low testosterone. Guys, we can fix that. There's ways to fix that. If your testosterone is low and total and free, there's ways to fix that without you guys getting any negative side effects. The other question was my wife has low testosterone. The way that this patient knew his wife had low testosterone is because the doctor actually checked it after so many times we were going in and talking about the symptoms. Beast Body, I'll talk about TB500 in 1 second. All right, so at that point, He brought her in there. They tested her. She had low levels. But you know what? It was 1 point over normal range. She's going to stay where she's at. You know, maybe we can give her, you know, something to help her out, but it's not going to be testosterone. Why? You know, at that point, if they have the symptoms and they're doing this. But my big thing was people were talking, you know, this guy asked this question in this group, and everybody gave their response. There's no medical doctors in there. There's nobody with licenses. And there are some people that have tried some different regimens in there. But people are telling her to do injectable testosterone, do 20 milligrams, do 30 milligrams, do 50 milligrams a week. Guys, testosterone is a masculine hormone, right? So we know that males and females both need testosterone because we need some of those traits as far as energy, libido, and stuff like that go along with it. But raising a female's testosterone ranges to a super physiological rate or number is going to cause them negative side effects. They're going to get masculine traits. I don't care who they are, okay? And that's either hair growth in places they don't want, deepening of the voice, and I've heard some of you females, it's never going back. So I hope you like that voice now. You know, it's going to do some different things, jawline. There's some different things that are going to come along with it. So be prepared. If you're willing to do the time or do the crime, you better be able to do the time. And that's how it is, guys. So I want to make sure that you guys are doing that. Listen, if you guys are going to do the treatments, monitor yourself at least. At least you know where you're going. Don't be like, don't say this, because this is a common response. I'm too scared to find out where I'm at because I've been doing this so long. I'm not even going to call it stupid. How ignorant, and that means uneducated, does that sound, right? That sounds very uneducated. You should know about it if it's going to be a problem. The faster you get to that problem and you fix that problem, the better off your body's going to be and the better off you're going to be, all right? Without your health, you're not getting out of bed, you're not competing. I'm not here in this chair. Art's not behind there with the computer. We're not doing anything. We're laying in bed dying, guys, and you don't want to be like that. So make sure you take your health as number one priority. Aesthetics after that, family, God, all your things. But with your health, without your health, you're nothing. So make sure you're doing that. All right, Beachbody. I'm thinking about adding TB500. How do you like the results on it? How often do you take it? All right, so Brian, I'll get to your question right afterwards. So, Beachbody, TB500. Guys, big believer in BPC 157 and TB500. I wasn't at first until we got it as a prescription from the pharmacy. One was, I didn't know if let's say you order from somewhere. Do you really know what's in it? Are they showing you tests to prove the potency? Is the doctor prescribing it? Where is it coming from? Do you know the origin of it? Probably not. So at that point, you want to make sure that you're getting something that's very good and you know it's the right thing that you're going to be doing. Second of all, BPC 157. For me, when I hurt my shoulder, I had tennis elbow and golf elbow at the exact same time, and we didn't have TB500 at that point in time. I used the BPC 157. It gave me great results. It brought my shoulder back. I'm back to 100%. Knock on wood. Feeling better. I'm lifting. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. TB500 is like joints. It works systemically through the body, which is real nice. Where BPC 157, you have to inject it closer, subcutaneous to the areas of the injuries. But TB500 was great too. It's great for joints, great for flexibility of joints. You know, it's great for repair, healing. So there's a lot of good benefits. It really depends on what the problem is with you, Beachbody. So, you know, is it a shoulder problem, a tendon problem, joint problem? Is it something that's been around for a long time, chronic, or is it something that just happened? Those are the questions we would want to ask you. And then at that point, the doctor, provider, we can come up with a regimen that would help you the best or be most substantially the best results for you. Putting those two together is never a bad idea, guys. They work together like peanut butter and jelly. They're going to work together very well. You're recovering from a shoulder surgery. Okay, so that's perfect. So the shoulder surgery, definitely, I mean, for me, I would say BPC 157. That's just me in general. The TB500 is going to be great for some healing factor there like that. But the TB500, or excuse me, the BPC 157 is going to work out, I think, in my mind, a lot better. We can ask the doctor, medical providers. I think they're going to be on the same path as we are there. All right. So, Brian, do you have to request for HGH levels when getting a full panel done? It wasn't checked the last time I got it. Okay, Brian. So, Brian, do you have a copy of the blood test? Because when we test full blood panels here, guys, okay, I'll give you a list of rundown of kind of what we do. But the answer is in this question, Brian. So we do like liver, kidney, CBC, CMP, PSA. We're going to do a lipid panel, which is like cholesterol. You're going to do a full thyroid, TSH, T3, T4, free and total testosterone, progesterone, estradiol. For females, is total estrogen, DHEA is also added in there. We're also going to do B12. And then you're going to do a little test called IGF-1. Now look at your blood test because I guarantee it's on there, Brian. I know it's on there for a big fact. IGF-1, insulin growth factor 1. That's what it stands for. Now, why do we test for IGF-1 levels? Okay, there's an HGH serum test you can do, but here's the point to it, and this is why doctors read off those tests. The reason is because when you take human growth hormone, real human growth hormone, what happens is it goes from the pituitary and it goes down to the liver and then it converts. Growth hormone converts into IGF-1, 2, and 3. IGF-1 is what you get all your benefits from. All those great benefits from HGH, IGF-1. That's why people have been starting to taking IGF-1 straight. Because one, they're not hindering their function of the pituitary and they don't have to take it forever, right? Two, the cost factor, IGF-1 is a third of the cost. So why take the growth hormone? It's a lot harder to get. I'm telling you, I know for a fact, and it's a lot more expensive than a normal person usually can't afford. Now, if you're getting from the black market, $250 for 100 IUs or whatever you guys are doing, you can test it. And then that's when you get to the test of, well, you should be testing HGH serum, not just IGF-1 because, it could have got shooken or whatever your answer is. Listen, IGF-1 levels should come back very high if you're taking any sort of human growth hormone, depending on how much you're taking. IGF-1 is the true telltale of what's going on. Are you benefiting and getting that conversion? Is your IGF-1 levels up? All right, so when we talk about that, we talk about IGF, we talk about the pituitary. Now, pituitary is serious. Now, when the pituitary gets overstimulated or understimulated, doctors could say, hey, listen, you have a tumor on your pituitary. A common response for a young male that has low testosterone, and this has happened so many times, and maybe it's happened to you guys, so let me know if it has. I want to know. So if you're a younger guy and you had low testosterone, you want to get your testosterone checked, you went to your doctor, you fought, kicked, screamed, he finally said, you know what, we're going to run the free and total testosterone. He runs it on you. It comes back low. So then he's like, well, we might have a problem here. He might refer you out to urology. He might refer you out to endocrinology. If you go in front of them and they see that, the first thing they want to do is, you're getting an MRI of your pituitary. You might have a tumor on your pituitary. Now listen, what up, Morocco? How you doing? So at that point, usually you don't have the pituitary tumor, but that's what they want to run. It's MRI. It gets costly for people, and then they have to go through these hoops. It's weeks and weeks and a month or 2 months before they even talk about treatment. And at that point, some people just give up at that point. They just don't want to have to do it or jump through all these hoops. So listen, it could happen. So there could be a tumor on the pituitary. And usually if IGF-1 levels are stimulated really, really high, like 800s, there might be a pituitary tumor. So not to say it doesn't happen, but it doesn't happen as much as they put out there, and a lot of people have to go for MRIs when they shouldn't have to go for MRIs. LH and FSH, follicle-stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. This is also tested. This is in there, and this is what sparks and sends the signals down to your testicles and Leydig cells for your testicle to produce testosterone, sperm, and all of the good stuff. So that can take an effect too. So you guys might want to test for that if you're younger. Those are definitely some things that you guys should be looking for. So let's talk about some therapies. The therapy of the week, Titan Ultra, right? Titan Ultra is one of my favorites, guys. You guys will never hear me not talk about it. I think it's like one of the best therapies we have as far as true health and anti-aging and repair. The reason is because NADH is in every living cell in the body. And what it does is it helps cells repair itself. So your cells, they start dying off and deteriorating. And what happens is your cells try to rebuild themselves back, but they never rebuild themselves back to where they were. They can never get themselves back to where they were. This happens with dementia patients, Alzheimer's patients. At that point, memory starts losing, motor skills, all different kinds of things. Guys, they actually use NADH as a treatment for Alzheimer's and dementia. And it has great results as far as memory, cognitive enhancement, memory function, energy levels, concentration, motor skills. So these are really great things. That's just in the NADH portion. Now you have carnosine in there, right? It's got alanine and histamine in it. As far as the injectable, taurine's in it, B12's in it. So you're getting a lot of great things on there. Opinions on transdermal. They treat testosterone like coke. Yes, they do. I definitely agree with you. Treating test is like heroin with some doctors, and I don't know why, because here's the thing. We produce testosterone, right? Males and females. Why are we looking at it as such a bad thing? That's where the stereotype comes in. And guys, it's because of people taking outrageous amounts of testosterone, not balancing their hormones, them doing something very stupid, and everybody looking at it and say, it's because of steroids. I had a guy call me today, 55 years old. He said, John, I'm in really great shape. I've been supplementing, branched chain amino acids and stuff like that. He's like, but I never done any steroids. And I'm like, man, that just sounds like real bad. We know what's an anabolic steroid. We know what testosterone is, right? But steroids, that's like such a bad term, I guess. Bioidentical hormone, that's what it is. So it's a bioidentical hormone. So these hormones that we produce in our bodies, we need. The fact is, what happens is testosterone and all these other hormones start deteriorating in our body over time because we're dying, guys. That's what happens. We get born, we live, we grow, we die. That's what happens. So at that point, these hormones direct the body and the body starts deteriorating. So replacing these hormones, that's why people are supposed to feel younger. They're supposed to have that energy. Their hormones are working right and optimally. That's why libido works really good. Like you're an 18-year-old, 20-year-old, right? You're pitching tense in the morning like an 18-year-old. Morning erections, like, wow, I haven't had that in years. Well, that's a byproduct of what's going on in your body. So that's kind of what it is, guys. Make sure you guys are learning these things. You guys are taking these things in the hand. And if Titan can't help you, use this stuff on your doctors, guys. I'm giving you guys vital information and education that you can go in and put that doctor in a corner and basically educate them or have them run the test that you guys want or need. Guys, tell them about the symptoms you're having. Tell them about the test you want ran. They work for you, guys. They are getting paid by your insurance companies or by you. Don't let them treat you like a number, guys. Make sure you guys are getting all the treatment and all your questions answered. Don't let them blow you off. They should be talking to you about the positives and the negatives of every treatment, guys. Okay? All right. So what's the difference between that and the Z-score? So Brian must have looked at his blood test and said, damn, there was an IGF-1 on there, right? So with the IGF-1 test, there's a Z-score that's right underneath it. The Z-score is the average with your age, right, and gender of where you fall in the average to that age and gender. So between there, it's usually between, I think, negative 1.0 and positive 2.0. And usually people fall like 1.0, 1.6, somewhere in there. If your IGF-1 levels are really high, you're going to come back really high in that average. If your IGF-1 levels are really low, you're probably going to come back very low on that. So that's the difference. So your IGF-1 is telling you what it is right then and there, and the Z-score is telling you what your average is. Okay, Brian? So I hope that helps. Do BPC and TBE have systematic overall results, or needs to be site-specific from Chrissy? All right, so I talked about that. So BPC, you want to have it closest to the injury, and you want to usually inject subcutaneous. This is daily usually, is what the regimen is by our physicians, 2 times usually. And that dose can change. It could go up. It could be the normal dose of what we usually prescribe, so that can change. Now, TB500 is great in the light of it works systemically. It works through the whole body. So you can inject it subcutaneously, 3 inches from the navel, left to right, and it's going to work all out throughout the body. So like I said, using both those things together are very effective usually. If I had to pick one or the other one, I'm just telling you guys I like BPC 157. It worked for me a lot better, and I didn't have TB500 to fall back on. Now, do I use TB500 here occasionally? Yes, because I want to make sure that my joints are flexible. I want to make sure that, hey, listen, I'm not going to have any problems. I'm trying to be preventative about it. Do I need to take it all the time? No, so I haven't. And luckily, I've been okay, and I haven't had no ailments or problems, so I'm just going to keep it like that. Do we get a review, feedback, recommendation after blood panel comes back? Okay, Andrew, here's the deal with that. So what we like to do is for patients is some patients just want blood results. And what I mean by that is they might be doing their own thing or they want to see where something's at, so they just sign up for the blood results. As far as they pay for the blood test, they get the blood results, we get them back, and at that point they want a copy of them for their own records. Do we give review and feedback recommendation after blood results? So we will do the recommendation and go over the blood in depth. The medical provider will. But that's additional. That's for your doctor's visit. So what happens is let's say you're a 55-year-old male that calls up and you want to go on testosterone replacement therapy. The first thing that we're going to do is we are going to have you going for the blood work. The reason is because we want to get that blood work back and we want to get your health history back. That way we can tell you if we're going to be able to help you out and treat you. Right? We don't want to charge a patient and us not even be able to help them as far as that goes. So that's a big thing. So we do it, obviously. We help out every patient after blood comes back. But to get it from the medical provider and the recommendations, you will pay to see the medical provider. Now, if it's like, hey, listen, your ALT or AST came back high, okay, you're probably going to need some injectable glutathione. Estrogen levels came back high. Why? You might need some Arimidex or Anastrozole or AI aromatase inhibitor. So at that point, there might be some things that we can tell you over the phone. And then at that point, you might want to go for the doctor's consultation, and the doctor can go over the blood work and all that stuff, and then make the recommendations and prescribe. And at that point, now you have the regimen. You're prescribed the regimen by a doctor, and you know what you're getting is right, and you're going to be on the right track, right? You can monitor yourself some more if you want to, or you can have us monitor you. It's totally up to you. All right. Next question. I'll go on here and then I'll come back to Facebook. All right. What do we think about transdermal patches? It is another option, guys. I won't throw it all the way underneath the bus. Transdermal will work to a certain extent. I don't know the exact percentage of absorption. And everybody could be different. Plus, if you put that transdermal patch on a hairy area, it might not absorb as well as on some area that you don't have as much hair on, I guess, a skin part. So for us, though, listen, creams, transdermal patches, trochees. For guys, I mean, I'm telling you the best. It's injectable, guys. And as long as you guys are doing the dose correctly and then you're doing the Titan protocol, your levels are going to be up, even, and stay even keeled all the way across the board, with you guys getting all the benefits and no negative side effects. On the transdermal patches, we don't have a lot of patients that do them, so I can't speak educationally about it or educated about it in that way or in that light, so I won't even get into it. But they could be another option. So if you have a problem with needles, or you have a needle phobia, there is an oral version that we can do, a troche, dissolvable tablet, or you could do a cream or a transdermal patch. All right. So the next question is, one more question if you have time. I'd be there a test for estrogen sensitivity. I was told was different from regular estrogen test. Okay, all right, Brian. So you get these guys out there and they're all talking. All right. So the big thing is estradiol sensitivity. So we run an estradiol test, right? An estradiol test E2 is the main thing for guys as far as we want to look at. We want to make sure that, this is on the lower end. We want to make sure that, it's not high and where it's at. The reason is because of water retention, irritability, gynecomastia possibly. A lot of different things can happen with these estrogen levels being high. An estrogen sensitivity test. This is a cute little test they came out with maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I think. Now, this is supposed to be more exact than an estradiol test. And it is. It's supposed to be very sensitive. Now, I've ran these tests back and forth for the Pepsi Challenge. They don't come back too far apart. They will if you're taking different medications and stuff like that, and you're not on a regimen. So at that point, you go on one day, there was no consistency in your regimen, and you get one score. You go on another day and you weren't consistent, and you get another score. Which one should you go off of? I guess the estrogen sensitivity at that point you could. We were going to add it to the regimens of blood panels if people really want it. But as far as that goes, estradiol is a standard across the board. I just see a lot of people just trying to do these tests just to add in whatever they're trying to do. At that point, if it's really an estrogen problem, you can really dial it in, and if you need to, you can run that test. But there's no need to run that test. If you want to, you can. When you start taking Titan Ultra, how soon do you notice results? So guys, this is really cool. Most of the time, especially with the vitamin amino acid injectables or glutathione, usually, Jay, the first injection you take, you usually feel the benefits. Usually. And like Hercules Potion, like off that, like you got glutamine there for recovery, arginine, L-citrulline for the muscle pump and vasodilation. You got NAC in there, proline, taurine, L-carnitine. It's really packed, right? But the instant gratification, the first thing somebody notices off the first injection is the vasodilation and the opening of the blood cells, the blood vessels, excuse me. At that point, when the blood vessels open, you get more vascular, and it starts creating more of a pump effect, more rushing that blood in there. And that's what you'll feel like right off the bat. So a couple sets, couple reps, you should be rocking and rolling. For me, it's usually on the way there. I'll inject it like 45 minutes before I go train. It usually takes about 15, 20 minutes to drive there. So I start feeling it in the car. I definitely notice the vasodilation and start feeling it. So that's one thing. Titan Ultra, I take every morning. That definitely it keeps me on my game. I am ready. I am on my toes, ready to rock and roll. So, I mean, it really, really helps. The Titan Ultra is definitely a big one. It's a very, very, really cool natural one, too, as well. So people that don't want hormones or they don't want to take any stimulants or anything like that, this one works really, really well. It has helped some people with ADHD and ADD and stuff like that get off those medications like Adderall. It's not going to give you a speeding effect. So people that take Adderall and they're like, well, this is a substitute for Adderall. Maybe it's going to make me bounce off the walls. It's not going to do that, guys. So it's not going to be like abusing Adderall and getting that speeding effect. What products are we talking about? Just joined. Oh, man, you missed a big one, Dylan. You got to go back and watch this again, dude. So we talked about Titan Ultra. We just got done talking about. We talked about BPC 157, TB 500. We talked about some blood testing, why we run some of the blood testing, what you should look for if you're taking androgens or anabolics in those blood tests. We talked about in like 2 weeks or so, I'm probably going to have one of the doctors come on and go through a real blood panel that we would run on a male for you guys. And then maybe in a couple weeks I'll run a female and we'll go through a female panel for you guys. But I want to break it down for you guys so you know what the tests are you're looking at, how they're going to affect you, and what they're going to do for you. How's it going to benefit your health and how's it going to benefit your results? And that's what it really comes down to. So we talked about those. We talked about, Hercules. That's really about it. We didn't really get into too many. What I do want to bring up, though, what up, Neil? What I do want to bring up, too, is one of the new therapies that we will be offering that I ain't seen nobody offer yet. So get it locked and make sure. Titan Medical came out with it first. Thymosin Alpha 1. Thymosin Alpha 1. John, that sounds real familiar. Isn't that like TB 500? No. Thymosin Beta 4 is TB 500. Thymosin Alpha 1, if you guys don't know what it is, look it up. Thymosin Alpha 1. It's FDA approved, actually. So anybody that comes at me with that, there you go. You already got that answer. 2, what's it good for? It boosts immune system. It's great for immune system functions. So at that point, it's great around this time. Cold, flu, all that stuff's going around, dirty germs. Guys, you guys want to protect yourself the most. Now, we do have glutathione, which is a super antioxidant, and I think it will work really, really well with that. Another one that we were talking about, Thymosin Alpha 1 is ready to go. So at that point, it's going to be ready by next week, so you guys can order as a patient if you're a patient, or sign up to order it if you want to be a patient. I'll talk about it more on the live tomorrow. Guys, tune in Black Wednesday tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when it starts. Instagram, Facebook, that's where we're going to be at. Guys, pay attention to after this too. Hashtag Titan Gift, hashtag Titan Clothing. You can text that to 727-389-3220. I'm going to give away a $100 gift card today and free Titan gear. Leggings, shirts, t-shirts, whatever you guys want. So guys, hashtag Titan Gift, hashtag Titan Clothing. Text it, 727-389-3220. How often should we get blood work done? Tony Gaines brings up a good question. How often should we get blood work done? So, depending on what you're on and what you're taking, So you should be getting blood work done at least every 6 months. 3 months for some people. Depending on what comes back on that initial blood test, you might have to retest in 30 to 60 days. So let's liver function. So your ALT and AST are up, right? You take this first blood test, liver functions come back high, triple digits, let's say. 3 times the amount it should. You go on around a glutathione for 3 weeks. Super antioxidant, it's going to bring those liver functions down, right? At that point, you want to retest. Now, do you have to retest all the panels? No. You can pick the panel, right, just on liver function. So CMP, $25, you retest it, you make sure it comes down. If it doesn't come down, you might do another treatment, retest it again. Once you see it down, you're great. So I would say every 3 to 6 months. 6 months, you don't want the most. You know, you definitely want to check it out more than that. Especially if you're having issues, then do it. BPC 157. Kyle wants me to talk about BPC 157. All right, so let's talk about BPC 157 a little bit more. What would you like to know about BPC 157? So BPC 157 is a healing peptide, right, guys? And it's made from like the gastric juices in our own body. What it's great for too is ulcers, stomach problems, guys. It helps with stomach issues like ulcers. So people have ulcers. This is another great treatment for them. UC. Right? That's another big one. You know, your healing effects, organs, protecting organs. That's another good one for BPC. Helps muscles, you know, recoup. Healing process. So if you're getting surgeries done. I had a pec tendon surgery 5 months ago. So BPC 157, has it healed? Is it back to normal? BPC 157 is great, especially for something like that. Especially after surgery and stuff, man, BPC 157 has definitely done some great things for me, and it's done some great things for a lot of our patients. A lot of our patients go through surgeries. I've got some high-end clientele patients, good friends, celebrities, that have had surgeries, problems, and have taken these things, and it helped them tremendously. I've actually got, this is really cool, guys. You know, so we're a medical clinic, right? We have our doctors on staff here all the time, and medical providers and the medical staff. But here's a really cool thing, and it's a big compliment to me. It's a big compliment to my medical providers. When other medical doctors come to us for treatment, it's like, man, it's huge, man. So we actually have had some orthopedic surgeons, right? And orthopedic surgeons work on elbows, they work on shoulders, and stuff like that. We've got some of them that come to us because they have problems, and they don't want to have surgery. So they usually come to us, especially, it's really cool. And at that point, they get healed, and they've actually recommended some of their patients to come to us instead of, or before going through surgery and trying these treatments. So guys, anything's better than surgery, and anybody that's had surgery knows, man, it is not fun. I've had a couple surgeries, you know, and when you have them, you're down usually for a week, a couple days. It just depends on how bad the surgery is and what they've done to you. So at that point, you know, every option is pretty good without having to go underneath the knife. All right, so BPC 157 is great. Should I use TB 500 with it for a post-surgery application? Yeah, listen, it's definitely not going to hurt. If you can afford it and you can do it, definitely do it. It's only going to help you. And the faster you get back, you know how that goes, man. The faster you're going to get in there, the faster you're going to get, you know, back your body and then back the way you're feeling and stuff like that. So it definitely is an option for you. PD, what up, dude? All right, so I've been using Titan Complete. Love it. This is from Brock. I believe it's great to lower cholesterol. Are there anything else you'd recommend for cholesterol? All right, so there is one other thing that's good for cholesterol out there, guys. We don't prescribe it. Our doctors don't prescribe it. It's not in generic form yet, and it is very expensive. It shouldn't be, but it is. But it's called Vacepa. If you guys don't know what Vacepa is, VACEPA, look it up, Google it. Vacepa, all it is, guys, is a prescribed fish oil. It's FDA approved and clinically proven, okay, to raise HDL levels. The biggest difference you'll look at it is, you look at your fish oils, right, you get from GNC or Publix or wherever you get it, from Walgreens, whatever, you look at that, right? And you look at that, it's like a gel tab most of the time, and what it looks like a yellow tint, darkish, you know, maybe light yellow. That's not the capsule. That's the inside of what the actual liquid looks like. When you put a Vacepa capsule, it's clear like water. It is so pure. It's awesome. And it wasn't originally made here. It was originally made in Japan. It was because Japanese people had malnutrition. Body doesn't absorb all these things. So at that point, it was produced over there, and then it was licensed over here, and they're starting to use it now. Cardiologists are starting to use it, man. So at that point, Visipa is a good one. We don't offer it, but it's something you could back maybe your medical provider into. If you see a general practitioner or somebody like that, if you're taking cholesterol meds, make sure you ask them about it. Maybe they can give it to you and you get it covered by your insurance. Because insurance, they don't cover nothing, but maybe they might cover that. So at that point, definitely check into it. As far as lowering cholesterol or raising HDL, so we know that diet is going to be inclusive with lowering HDL, raising HDL and lowering LDL. HDL is good cholesterol, LDL is bad cholesterol, and then there's a ratio underneath it usually on your blood. You definitely want your ADL, your good cholesterol, to be good. How they say to raise that: good fats like avocados, 1 glass of red wine. 1 glass of red wine. All right. And then at that point, lowering LDL, and that's your bad cholesterol. Stop eating fatty foods. Make sure your diet is very, very on point as much as possible. And then just monitoring, guys. Monitoring is big. Some people have genetic problems as far as cholesterol goes. So it's very, very important for them to monitor, okay? All right. Another big one, guys. Cholesterol. And sugar levels actually can balance on testosterone levels. If those levels are low or hormones are off or ineffective, those other levels and numbers can be affected by that too as well. So make sure your testosterone's on point too, Brock. Make sure you get a blood test. Just make sure it's all good, and we can dial you in. All right, so I don't want to take underground gear. Can I get a real test from you? Okay, so we do hormone replacement therapy nationwide. So if you are looking to get on a hormone replacement therapy program, we can most likely help you. What do we do at Titan Medical Center? I'm going to cover it real quick. Usually I say it in the beginning, but I'm going to say it now just so you guys all know. So Titan Medical Center does hormone replacement therapy nationwide, medical weight loss treatments nationwide, vitamin amino acid injectable treatments nationwide, rejuvenation detox treatments like liver, anti-aging, feeling better, we do that nationwide. Blood testing, we do that nationwide. We can a la carte one test, we can do full panels, we can do STD testing, we can do food sensitivity testing through blood, we can do all these in one blood pool, and the blood is in your local zip code. You don't have to go anywhere far. We're going to get the results automatically in 3 to 4 business days. We get you guys the results the fastest. We have the cheapest blood test nationwide. If anybody disagrees or anybody finds something cheaper, apples to apples testing, please let me know. I'll match it or maybe even beat it, guys. I guarantee it. So yes. So, guys, if you don't go underground and, do you know what it is? Do you know what you're taking? I had one guy I just seen. Was a friend. And he's not a patient, but he was asking me, he pulled out his labs. He had about a 1,500 test score, which it's above range. The thing is at a 1,500 test score, I'm like, well, how much testosterone are you taking? At 200 milligrams or 300 milligrams, you're going to get to that level usually. It just depends when you do the blood test and find out. He tells me he's doing 1,000 milligrams of testosterone. I go, man, whatever you're taking is underdosed severely. So at that point, I didn't get into it with him because I don't like to get into that. But I just told him, I said I would check whatever you're getting and where we're getting it from and make sure that you're getting what you're supposed to be getting, okay? And then recheck. So definitely, iron, just give us a call. All right, appreciate it, man. So helpful. Go to the Visipa's website. They have coupon cards for $5 or $10 copays. So DC Baker went there. And usually, if it's a new drug like that, usually those pharmaceutical companies want you to get on those treatments, and they will do those discount cards for you guys, especially if it's really expensive. And you guys can try it and look at what it does and how it helps you. So at that point, Visipa is a good one, guys. I don't usually recommend anything like that. It's definitely a good one. I've seen it help on HDLs and a lot of different patients already. What up, Warren Limo? How you doing, man? All right. All right. So I think that's it, guys. I think that's about it. I mean, usually I go for 30 minutes. I went for 55 minutes today. It just flew by. Guys, please do me a favor. Go to YouTube. If you're on YouTube, press subscribe to that button. We do Titan Talk Tuesday every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? Facebook, Instagram. Please like and follow the pages. Also, there's a special post on the last post on Instagram and Facebook for our Black Titan Wednesday or Titan Black Wednesday. We're going to go live at 12 p.m. here on Instagram, on Facebook channels. We're going to give away free blood test, not one blood test like a free total testosterone. We're giving away full panels. So at that point, you'll be able to have a full panel of what's going on in your body, males and females. I'm probably going to give away like 4 or 5, maybe more. I don't know. It just depends how I feel tomorrow. But I'm definitely giving away a 4 or 5, guaranteed. What I'm also going to do is you people that don't win blood tests, I'm going to discount better than I ever had before. So it'll be cheaper than it ever has been before for blood tests. So if you want to get a blood test and you don't win, you can get it for a discounted price that you've never got it for or never even been offered for at that point. Therapies, new and old patients, I'm going to give away free discounted therapies for patients. I'm going to give away some free therapies to old patients for loyalty, and I'm going to give some discounts to new patients that want to try those therapies, okay? So I want to make it fair across the board and give back to you guys. We're also going to give away free Titan gear. So the leggings for you ladies, tank tops, shirts, Nike tops, all different kinds of things, guys. So I'm really, really pumped. We're going to go live tomorrow. I'm going to do some behind the scenes. You guys are going to see some of the operation. You'll have to see my smiling face, and Charisse will be here, plus the staff. We're going to do all these giveaways. So I hope you guys are prepared. Sleep tight tonight and get ready to win some really, really cool stuff for tomorrow, guys. Thanks, Jim Rat. I appreciate it, man. So I hope to see all you guys tomorrow. And do me a favor, on those posts, the share giveaway, share it if you're on Facebook. Please share that post. If you're on Instagram, please go to that post and put 3 friends or family members or people you would know that would benefit from Titan Medical Center in any way, different shape, or form. Whether it be blood testing, weight loss, hormones, growing their hair, whatever it may be. All right, guys? So I really appreciate you guys tuning in and being with me. All right? This is another Titan Talk Tuesday. I will see you guys tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. One more question. Doc said my low T was due to mind-body connection. Bumped my test. He's clueless. Your doctor said you had low testosterone due to mind and body connection. Wow. Guys, if somebody tells you that, you guys better run. Go find another doctor. Come to somebody. Another common response from a doctor, I'll let you guys know because most of you guys do it and I'll let you go. The most common response I get is like a 40-year-old guy goes in there or a woman and they say, Doc, man, I just don't feel like myself, energy's down, I don't want to have sex as much, libido's not as good, kind of feel foggy-minded, just not motivated to do what I wanted, I used to like to do, just depressed, I don't feel happy. You know what the doctor does? The doctor usually slaps him on the back and says, you know what, that's just a part of getting old. That's just you getting old. That's you getting old, man. Or symptoms with problems, medications. So you're going on a depression medication, you're going on a Viagra, you're going on, a sleep medication if you can't sleep. So, guys, run, please. If any doctor ever said that to you or anybody ever said that to you guys, run. Mind-body connection, testosterone being low? Anyway, so Steven, if you need help, we're here. But guys, I went out a little bit too long. I appreciate you guys all tuning in. And I'm John, and this is Titan Talk Tuesday. I'll see you tomorrow at 12 p.m.